Tesseract is a band that has been playing musical vocalists ever since their first album. On their first album, Dan was a lead vocalist. Then he left the band, and then on their Perspective EP, they replaced him with Elliot Coleman. Now, I really liked Elliot Coleman whenever he was in the band, but apparently all the fans who miss Dan so much, Dan is Betteract, they put pressure on him indirectly to leave the band, so he left. On Altered State, they replaced Elliot with Ash O'Hare. Now, Ash smashed on Altered State. It was awesome. It was great. He did an awesome job on that album. Then we get word that Ash left and that Dan is back. So, finally, the fans get their wish that Dan is back. And apparently some of them were mad that Ash left. So apparently you can't make any of the fans happy. Tesseract is back with Polaris, and Dan is back singing. And Dan, as always, does an awesome job on this album. Now, this album is really great. Dystopia, the opening track, is your standard Tesseract song. It's very good, in your face, has some very good riffs in it. The next song, Hexes, is one of the more laid-back songs on the album. And that's pretty much the entire theme throughout this whole album. It doesn't have those in-your-face riffs that one had, and kind of you see a trend with it because on Altered State, they didn't have as many. And on this one, they still have them, but it's not as much. But Tourniquet is one of the more laid-back songs on the album. Now, you do have Survival, which, that is one of the more catchy songs on the album. I find that one getting stuck in my head a lot, and they did make a video for that one. It was the second single that they released off of it, and Survival is really good. Phoenix is one of the more interesting songs on the album because it feels like it's the second movement of a song. It doesn't really feel like it belongs as its own song. It's a very interesting song. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not, like, amazing either. So that is one of the more downsides of the album, if you want to call it that. But the last 3 songs on the album completely destroy. They're really awesome. Messengers, of course, is the first single that they released. That one's really awesome. Cages is really cool. And then the album gets a send-off with 7 Names, which 7 Names is one of the more stronger tracks on the album. Overall, this album is really good, but it isn't without its faults. Like I said earlier, Phoenix tends to be one of the more weaker tracks on the album, and this album's a lot more subdued than the last 2. This album is going to make it into my top 10 albums of the year. I feel like I say that everything I review, just a lot of good stuff's coming out. If you've ever listened to Tesseract before, if you're a fan of ambient type music, if you're a fan of gent in general, you definitely need to check this album out. As for me, I'm out. Peace.